Coucou tout le monde, welcome back to my French corner. So today I'm going to share a story that is a tiny bit scary to me. That happened to me like a month ago, something like that, in Paris. So just before I start the actual story and what happened, I just wanted to do a little disclaimer. So it's not a video to scare you off Paris and be like, oh, Paris is so dangerous, don't go there. It's not at all like that. It's more like you need to have the full pictures, because sometimes you see like on social media Paris is very glamorous and romantic and beautiful, and it is quite beautiful. I love Paris and it's really fun to go there pretty often, but it, at the same time, it's still like a big city, and sometimes we forget that it's still like a big city where a lot of things happen and it can be dangerous, and you need to be kind of aware of your surroundings, because especially if you come to Paris for like a few days a week and you're on vacation and you kind of feel like in your little bubble of I'm enjoying Paris because it's one of the most beautiful cities in the world or whatever, but at the same time you still need to be kind of careful, be aware of your surroundings, and realize that also bad stuff can happen, so you just need to be careful. That's just a video to kind of make you aware to be careful, and it happens everywhere in the world. Everywhere you go, anywhere, you still need to be careful and be aware of your surroundings a little bit. So I'm going to share my little story. So basically, me and my boyfriend decided to go to Paris because we go to Paris like pretty often because we live right next to Paris. So we wanted to go to Paris, kind of go to the restaurant and then just walk around random street. We didn't really have a plan, so we just wanted to walk around. So we went to a restaurant. After the restaurant, we started walking, and basically we found our way back to Jaurès. So I'll put a map on there if you don't know so much about Paris. So we went around Jaurès, and actually I worked there before in this area, so I showed him where I worked because he never saw it before, so I just showed him where I worked. And then we started just following the Canal Saint-Martin, and we wanted to make our way down to République. So that's the little, path we wanted to take, just walk along the Canal Saint-Martin, just take our time, talk, and go back to République. So that's basically what we wanted to do. So I don't know exactly when it started, but basically I think it's right when we passed Jaurès. Actually, we kind of like walked by a little group of guys, and I don't know, I had like this weird feeling because one of the guys seemed a little weird. So I don't know, I had this weird feeling that something wasn't right, or he was looking at us a bit weird. But at the same time, it happens to me a lot of time because, Paris is a big city, like I said, a lot of things happen, so I'm a little bit scared and kind of always trying to be aware of my surroundings, but sometimes I get scared for nothing, and like someone just look at me in a bit of a weird way, and I'm just like, wait, what's going on? And a lot of times nothing happens. But this time, so I had the same feeling, but like I said, because it happens quite often that I'm a bit scared of somebody. If someone looks at me a bit weird or acts a little weird, I will feel a little stressed out. So I had that feeling, but like I said, because it happens often, kind of dismissed it after a few minutes. So we continued walking with my boyfriend, just talking, and I like on the side of my eye, I was seeing someone like behind us, walking behind us. So I was continuing like kind of feeling weird, and I felt like the guy was following us, but at the same time, we only walked like 5 minutes, and it's like a big street next to the Canal Saint-Martin, so it's like no more people are behind us. So I was like, don't be too stressed out, it's just a random guy walking down his way, like us, along the river, so nothing wrong with that. But then what happened is, at some point, because I worked in the area, a lot of restaurants I did with my colleagues, and so I saw a pizzeria that I went to before with my colleagues, so I just wanted to tell my boyfriend, so I stopped and was like, oh look, this pizzeria, I went there before. And as it was happening, like when I stopped, I saw the guy behind us stop at the same time, like really, I stopped, he stopped as well, and that freaked me out because I was like, wait, that's weird, okay? He was following us, but at the same time we were walking, so that's fine. But when we stop, he stops as well, something is not right. So that's where I knew, not completely, but I kind of knew something was wrong. So I turned around to see him, and he was just looking at the sky like, oh, the sky is just so beautiful today. Nothing was in the area. So at first, like right when he stopped, I was like, maybe he's looking at the pizzeria as well. But then when I looked at him, he was just like looking at the sky and trying to not look at me. And I was like, okay, this guy is following us, he's being so fucking weird. Sorry, I'm not supposed to say the F word maybe, but he's being so weird, so that's not right. But I wanted to prove my point just so I'm not paranoid and I'm just like, it's a random guy I'm going to accuse of following, The total event was like 10 to 15 minutes, because so that happened maybe after 5 minutes, I feel like maybe something like that, when we stopped at the pizzeria. Then we walk around again for like 3-4 minutes, I don't know, and I was like, okay, this guy is following us again. So after we've stopped like 1 or 2 minutes to the time I was showing my boyfriend the restaurant, and when we started walking again, he started walking again, and I was seeing him, and I was like, okay, I need to prove my point, like make sure he's following us. So what I did was, at some point, we walked for a little bit, like, I don't know exactly, like a few minutes, and then I was like, I told my boyfriend like, oh, I'm going to stop, I just want to look at something on my phone. At that point, we didn't discuss the guy behind us with my boyfriend. I was the only one actually that I saw what was happening and that someone was following us. He didn't see it at all. So I didn't want to tell him like someone is following us, because I was like, oh, like the guy is going to see we're talking about him. So I just said, oh, I'm just going to look something on my phone. And my boyfriend was kind of like, do you need to really stop to look at your phone? Like, you know, because we are walking pretty slow. So he was like kind of making fun of me, like, oh, you can do like 2 things at the same time and everything. And I was like, just let's stop. Like, I just want to see something. And so I stopped, and he stopped also. And the guy, guess what? He stopped as well. So I just stared at him, and I told my boyfriend, like, this guy is following us because we stopped at the pizzeria. He stopped. He continued to, like, walking when we started walking again. And now that I stop again, he's stopping. And again, he was like kind of just looking at the sky. And I was like, oh, that just like... You look like you don't know how to look normal. Like, just looking at the side at a random spot just is so like weird. So anyway, so I looked at him, the guy looked at us, and he saw that we knew that he was following us. So he turned around and walked away. And so I tell everything to my boyfriend, like what happened. And so my boyfriend realized it. He told me like he didn't see it at all, but when we stopped and he looked at the guy, he realized the guy was so weird, because he looked at us kind of freaked out, like, oh, then no, I'm following them. And then he was kind of looking at the side, looking at us, and then he just walked away. And so yeah, so now like we're like, okay, this guy was definitely following us, but okay, he just got scared, now he walked away, it's fine, like we don't see him anymore, he just walked away. So we can just continue on with our life. But that was weird, you know, that was a weird event. I don't know whether he was following us, did he want to steal something, was it, I don't know really what happened. So like, okay, that's fine, that was a bit scary, but he kind of walked away, so that's fine. So we continue walking, and again, I don't know the precise, like, you know, how many minutes between everything, but around like 5-6 minutes later maybe, I don't know if me or my boyfriend saw him. I think it's my boyfriend who saw him. And I don't know why, I think we were walking, and then he turned around just to verify, and when he turned around, the guy was still following us, but from a lot further away. Because before, I didn't say, but he was like 1 meter away from us, 2 meters maybe, because I could see him like following us in my eye. But now we turn around, like my boyfriend wanted to just check if he was still following us, just in case. And he turned around, and like a lot, I don't know how much, but like it was a lot further away, but we could see him still following us. And when my boyfriend told me that, I was like, are you kidding me? And I couldn't really see him because my eye vision is pretty bad. Actually, I see kind of blurry from really far away. So like I was like, are you joking? Like, are you making fun of me? Like, do you want to scare me? And I was like, no, he's actually over there. And then I started seeing him, and I was getting so scared. I was like, this guy is still continuing to like follow us, what the heck? And so I don't know exactly like how, like we saw him walk, so we waited until we were sure it was him. And then my boyfriend like made like a weird, like, you know, movement with his body and his face to show like, we know you're following us, like what the heck are you doing? So he was like that. I don't know exactly what he did, it was like that. And so the guy started running away, but super fast, like running away from us. And so we laughed so hard because it was just, the situation at that point was kind of funny, because we're like, I don't know, the guy just like he's following us, but he's so freaking scared because my boyfriend just did that, and then he just ran away. And yeah, that's the end of the story actually, because after that we didn't see him again. I was so freaking like scared all day after that. Like I was shaking behind us all the time. Even like an hour later, like I was still checking, like, is he still here? Because, you know, we stopped 2 times, and a 3rd time we saw him and we kind of scared him, but I was like, he's still continuing to following us. So I was still really scared. So that day was kind of ruined, because afterwards, like the 2-3 hours later, we were still in Paris. I was scared because I was like, he's still maybe following us, and I was still like stopping and looking everywhere, and I was like, maybe he's still here and we don't see him. And yeah, that's basically the story. So nothing horrible happened. So thankful like nothing happened. So thankful I was not alone, because if I was alone I would have even more freaked out. But still like a pretty scary story when someone is following you, and especially because, you know, it saw that we saw that he was following us and still he did it again. Like, that's so weird. So now I'm a bit more scared than usual. Like, I look around even more than I did before, just because I'm like, you know, sometimes you don't think about it. You walk with your friend, your boyfriend, whatever, even you're alone, and then you don't always like are aware of your surroundings, but try to be a little bit more aware. It's hard to do that all the time, especially when you like, you know, in your daily life you can't always be aware, but try to be the more aware possible, because some stuff like that can happen. And maybe this guy wasn't that dangerous, maybe he was just weird and, you know, a bit freaky, I don't know, but maybe he was not dangerous, like he didn't really try to steal anything. I don't know why he was following us, but anyway, it was still really scary. So just wanted to share that story so you can be a bit more aware of your surrounding. Be careful when you're in Paris, or actually anywhere in other cities. So that's the end of the story. So the moral kind of the story where I wanted to share this video is just to tell you to be a bit more careful when you're in Paris, because Paris in general, I didn't have too many things happen to me. Like, in general, I felt kind of safe depending on where I go, because obviously it's a big city, so some places are more dangerous than some other ones. But this part of Paris, like, I felt fine. Like, there were a lot of people walking during the day, but even with that, some people still followed us. So like, just be careful, try to be more aware of your surroundings, especially when you're alone or by yourself. But yeah, just want to, you can enjoy the city, it's fine, Paris is really fun, but still be careful, be aware of your surroundings. For people maybe following you, for pickpockets trying to steal some stuff in your pockets or in your bags, just try in general to be more careful and be aware of your surroundings. That's all I wanted to share with this video. It's not to scare you off, because stuff like that can happen everywhere, it's not in Paris especially, but just wanted to share my stories. So I hope you guys still enjoyed this video. I have other videos that show the nice sides of Paris as well, because I love Paris. And I will see you in another video. Salut!